I'm going to show you how to make our homemade guacamole. It's super simple and so yummy and so good for you and much better than what you'd buy in the stores. So I'm going to start off with avocados. You need to make sure that they are not hard. If they are hard, something you can do is put them in a brown paper bag and store them like that for 3 or 4 days, then come back and check them and they'll start to soften up on you or for you. So these are just slightly soft whenever I push into them. My finger kind of slightly dips in. That's right where you want them. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of cut it lengthwise like this. Twist them apart. One side will have the seed, the other one won't. I like to hit it with my knife and twist, and you'll take that seed out. Then take your spoon. Since we're making guacamole, we're gonna be mashing it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna take my spoon here, run it around the outside, put it in my bowl. I'm gonna do the same thing for all 3 of them. 3 is the about right amount for us. It's great for dips or adding it to tacos or burritos. If you want to extend the life of your avocado, let's say you're only going to use half of it, keep the half with the seed in it. So like here, when I twist this open, maybe I'm going to make avocado toast, or I want some avocado on my burger and I'm not going to eat the whole thing. Keep the side with the seed in the avocado. Take this, put some press and seal around it, wrap it up, seal it up tight, put it in the fridge. The seed keeps the avocado from browning. So it's super easy. Great tip, and it does work. So now that we've got our avocados all cut up, we're going to add a little bit of onion. For 3 avocados for the guacamole that we're making, I'm only going to do about 1/2 of a white onion here. Doesn't need a ton. I'm going to chop those up pretty fine as well. Check out those fancy knife skills. Now, Brad and I kind of differ on our guacamole. So this is kind of a little bit of a compromised recipe. We both like the onions in our guacamole. We both like to add a little bit of garlic powder in there. But here's where we differ. So I like to add some red pepper flakes. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of red pepper flakes, not many, just to add a little dash of spice. I also like to add black pepper. So I'm going to grind up some black pepper in there. Then I like to add a little bit of salt. Those of you that know Brad and I know that Brad and I go round and round about salt all the time. Brad's very sensitive to salt, and I can't get enough salt. So it's always something that we deal with and go round and round about, especially in the comp trailer, especially on brisket. So, all right, so I'm kind of going to mix that just a little bit. All right, I'm going to grab my fork. Just kind of going to mash our avocados up in here with the seasonings. Get it good and mashed up. Some people like to just cube up their avocados and not really mash it. You could do that too, same kind of take. It's just gonna taste a little bit different and be a little bit more dense. We kind of like ours, we like it to be mashed, but not like creamy smooth, if that makes sense. Get it to the consistency you want it. All right, so this is kind of the consistency I'm looking for right here. Got our onions in there and the avocados mashed up. Now, I like to add a little bit of a Roma tomato in there as well. I take the middle part out so that then it doesn't get watery. I like to do that when I make homemade pico too. I think otherwise it can add too much moisture. I'm only gonna do like the 1 Roma tomato. I'm gonna slice it up. I don't want them to be too small, but I also don't want them to be too big. So kind of about like that consistency right there is perfect. I'm gonna put those in my guacamole. Now the next thing I like to add in my guacamole is a little bit of cilantro as well. I love cilantro, Brad loves cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, then don't add cilantro. So it's just kind of really up to your liking. I'm not super picky about getting every bit of it off the stems. The stems actually add some really good flavor. I just try to pull the big pieces of stem off. So now we're just gonna dice up a little bit of this. Once again, those fancy knife skills coming out. They don't have to be super fine either. And I'm gonna take it and put it right on in there for our guacamole. Now I'm going to take my fork and kind of just carefully mix in that cilantro and those tomatoes. I don't want to mash it anymore, otherwise it will end up mashing the tomatoes, and that's not what we want to do. So you just kind of want to fold it in with the cilantro and the tomatoes. And there you've got homemade guacamole.